Hello there.
Hi.
Hi. With that last song composed by yours truly, I feel like this is a good place to start. How are you guys today?
Very tired because
Yeah.
I'm moving house.
I am tired and I don't have a good reason for it.
That's also reasonable.
Alright, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Allie Hilton. I am the creator of the show Diane the Void. I use she, her pronouns.
My name is Emmett Moon. I play Dr. Mars Cope on the show, and I use he, him pronouns.
And I'm Tal Manier. I'm one of the sound designers, and I use they, them pronouns.
Lindsay will be joining us a little later, and Nick is currently across the room playing Animal Crossing.
Love that for them.
Right? So yeah, today we're going to be listening to 2 episodes. We're going to be listening to episode 3 and 4 because we didn't do our last live stream because I got married.
Woo!
Yay!
Woo!
I think of all reasons to miss a week, that is probably like the top reason, so.
Yeah. It's a little valid, you know.
Can have a little validation as a treat.
Yeah. A small treat. Alright. So yeah, we are gonna go ahead and mute ourselves and we will begin the episode in just a minute.
Woo!
Well, would not be stream day if we didn't have issues.
Yep, that seems to be a tradition at this point.
Right. We have Spotify is like won't let me rewind it. And it's do you want to reload the page?
Yeah,
And it's not playing any audio. And it was just playing Spotify perfectly fine. But could in theory pull it up on Google Drive. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna do that.
Because we have 2 things.
So, while we're waiting, how are you guys?
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah?
Like 6 minutes here.
My cat has spent the last 20 minutes trying to eat my muffin, and I think she has finally given up and is now eating the pillow.
Oh.
Criminal.
I'm gonna actually pull it up on Google Drive because I feel like that might work best. Because currently Spotify said, no thanks, I'm good. I know.
We do not stand Spotify.
It's usually fine, but today it's like, don't really feel like playing. I'm like, alright, yeah, that's fine. But if this opens right, it should be fine. Which in theory will work. Ooh. So, fingers crossed. It's loading currently. Stream day never goes smoothly, does it?
No.
Because when would it? I apologize for this wait. So,
At least it's not like that one time where we had to just not do the stream because it was just like...
right? Yeah, we had to skip a stream before because it didn't want to load.
Oh. Oh no.
It was a sad time.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see if this starts. Fingers crossed. If it does, we're just gonna mute ourselves very quickly.
Warning.
Yep,
The
there we
following
go.
episode contains mature content and strong language, which may not be suitable for all listeners. This episode includes discussions of death, emotional manipulation, use of a quarantine chamber, discussion of genocide, discussion of murder, and discussions of war, which may be triggering to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. A transcript of this episode is available on our website or in the show notes. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Season 2 of Dining in the Void. Take a glimpse into the past and understand a bit more of the story that tore her apart and turned her path to darkness. The monster who lays before you isn't completely evil, for complicated lies made a complicated soul and things are not black and white. Seek guidance amongst the stars and listen for my plea. Danger is coming, my friends, please run and flee. Take their stories with a grain of salt, open your eyes to the lie. Use your wits and courage now and try not to fly into the sun.
So, Mars Bars, having fun yet? Running your cute little experiments on Aveline? You think that's really gonna do you any good? Oh, so you're just gonna ignore me? Come on, Mars, you know better than that. Don't you want to talk to your sister? You never did get to say goodbye. Remember how I showed up on your doorstep? Your first thought was to send me away, but that hug changed everything. You didn't know it at the time, but that was the moment you felt whole again. And now that I'm dead, something will always be missing.
I thought I literally shoved a fucking sock down your throat.
And I thought you were smart enough to know that a simple sock isn't gonna stop me from tormenting you. You just make it so easy, Mars. Every time I speak, every time you look at me, a part of you dies. I'm a living, breathing reminder of your greatest failure.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up, you bastard! Keep talking shit and I'll kill you. You know I won't hesitate to follow through this time.
Then what's stopping you from doing it right now, Mars? I thought you had more guts than this. It's because you can't. Not really. I'm just like your sister, and you know killing me would be killing her all over again. Of all the deaths you've caused in the universe, somehow that is the only one you'll regret? Pathetic.
Bullshit. You're not her.
I'm close enough. I have those dazzling eyes that looked up to you in admiration. Eyes that were so excited to see you every time she came to visit. Those same eyes that begged you to let me die. You killed me, Mars. You pulled the plug even though you were still working on a cure. You put me through that procedure to hopefully buy me more time, but deep down you know, if you had just waited, I wouldn't have died. You could have saved me. You know you could have done it. Why didn't you save me, Mars? Why did you kill me?
I didn't kill you, Phoenix. I
Well, isn't this awkward?
Fuck off, you piece of shit. You're not her.
Oh, stars. I have waited for this moment. And you know what, Mars? You didn't disappoint.
Piece of fucking shit. Why didn't we kill them when we had the goddamn chance? Great. Now I get to deal with this too.
You're not going to get anything out of this. You know that, right?
Shut the fuck up, Aveline.
Joe, a little help here?
You got it, Master.
Don't bother trying to escape. You're locked in a quarantine chamber. And I designed the system myself, so very smart of you to give me my entire lab, Aveline.
Oh, Mars. Do you really think I can't accomplish everything I need from in here? All the wheels are already set in motion. You're still playing my game, no matter what you idiots think. Do you really think that you have the upper hand here? Are you really that arrogant to assume you've neutralized your enemy?
No, I'm not that stupid. I know you're still dangerous. But I do trust myself and my instruments. And I'm confident that I know more about your secrets.
Which ones?
You're not what you say you are. Not completely, anyway. I'll admit that I've never studied your species much before, but the data here doesn't lie. You're a physical shapeshifter, even though your species doesn't carry that trait. And this is your true form, though. What's more is, you're old. Like, really old. You have anomalies in your DNA that not even the database can identify. I don't know what exactly you are, or how you're even alive, but I'm going to figure it out.
Let me tell you a story, Mars. My people, the Reekerkin, were shapeshifters once. It wasn't a dominant trait, mind you, but some of us still carried the gene.
Yeah, no one knows this vital piece of history. You think something so important would have been written down somewhere. How do you just lose that kind of information?
It's not hard for science and data to lose a little bit of history here and there between a couple of millennia. Besides, the war killed most of my people. Our society had to start over. Little details about our ancestors were deemed unimportant at the time. Why remember a non-dominant gene that's all but dead?
That still doesn't explain how you're so old, though. If you really are over millennia, then you should be dead 1,000 times over by now.
Probably, but death is easier to avoid than you might think.
You're so full of shit, Aveline. I don't need to sit here and listen to your lies.
Oh, are we going to compare lies now? What really happened to your first dog? Or how about, what really happened to that school bully? Oh, I know. Why did you go from curing pandemics to creating bioweapons? You never did like to talk about the details of that one. I mean, stars, Mars. You killed a planet. Mothers and fathers watched their innocent children die, and if that wasn't enough, you just had to take it upon yourself to dispose of the one survivor they found. He was just a child, barely even old enough to understand what was happening.
G is just a child, Aveline. Yet you've put her in so much fucking danger for no reason. Not to mention all the people you've hurt and probably killed before. I might have killed a planet, but knows how many you've destroyed. How can you shame me for the blood on my hands when you yourself are soaked in it?
Why didn't you tell Phoenix you found your birth mother? You know that would have meant the world to her. It was the last secret she really cared about. The one she never got the answer to.
I am not dealing with this right now.
You can't run from the truth forever, Mars. Someday you'll have to face the consequences.
So Aveline was behind everything the entire time? Even my arrival here with G?
Yes, she was.
Stars. And to think we trusted her. What if she had tried to kidnap G? We could have lost her to that monster.
There, my love. It's okay. Nothing happened to G, and nothing will happen. You know I'll die before I let Aveline get to her.
But I don't want you to die. Either of you. I want to go home with all of you where we can finally be safe again. No illusions of safety and friendship. Just the Green family happy and safe as it always has been. As it should be, at least. I want to be able to watch G grow up safe and happy.
And I want to be the kind of father she truly deserves. It isn't safe for her on this ship. It isn't safe for any of us. But maybe if we can fix your ship, there might still be enough fuel for it to carry G home. Not enough for all of us, I'm afraid. But if it means getting G to safety, it might be worth attempting to fix it.
But where would she go? And you know she'd refuse to go anywhere without us. She'd be entirely alone out there. Mars is about the same size. Why not send them out? They could call for help.
Oh, fuck Mars.
Sawyer! Language!
She's napping, Ellery. Perhaps we could find an alternative, though. Maybe we can extend the comms further out, find someone out there willing to pick up a bunch of traumatized strangers. Tala is now more uncharacteristically helpful. Maybe she can help us with the comms.
Do we even have the necessary supplies to do that? I'm pretty sure we'd need to go outside the ship to make repairs on the comms. Even with Tala's help, it might not even work.
Spacewalk.
Gee, you're supposed to be asleep.
But I want to go on a spacewalk. I can be helpful. I promise.
Gee, darling, you're not going to go on a spacewalk out here.
Aw, man.
Waverly, I'm surprised to see you. I thought you would still be with Katie Bell.
I'm actually trying to find some food for her right now. Do you guys want anything while I'm at it?
Do we have any ice cream?
I'm not sure. Would you like to come with me and look?
Can I, Daddy?
I don't see why not.
Just don't eat too much. Okay, sweetie. I don't want you getting sick again.
And don't leave Waverly's side, okay? We want you to be safe.
Yay! Ice cream!
I'll bring you two some coffees on our way back. Besides, I'm sure the two of you probably want some alone time to discuss everything that's happened.
Thank you, Waverly.
You're welcome.
Stars, maybe we should have gone with them. What with everything happening around here? First G was sick, now Aveline, and... I'm scared, Sawyer.
She'll be safe with Waverly, don't worry. I won't let anyone hurt either of you. I assure you, my love, I will do whatever it takes to protect our family. Aveline is alive for the time being, but she can't get to us right now. We're going to be fine, Ellery. Let's at least try with the comms.
It's better than waiting here and doing nothing, I suppose. It's a plan, then. If we can get this to work, then maybe we won't even need to consider sending G off station.
Let's get to the comms and see what we can do.
Well now, what is this? A wooden door? I didn't think a station this advanced would have something as simple as that in here. It's almost archaic. Tala? Tala, are you there? I think I found something. Huh. I wonder if she's intentionally blocked from this area. Wouldn't surprise me, all things considered. Gods, there she is. Almost like a fairy tale. This has to be Tala. I've never seen her, but I know this is her. It has to be. You're finally going to be free, my love.
Galatea?
Oh, I'm here, darling. It's okay.
Stars, I feel weird. But a good weird. Like I've been away from home for a long time, and I finally returned and settled into my own bed. I feel real. So this is what you look like. You're beautiful.
Could you not see me before?
I could, but nothing like this. Before, there were so many variables and layers on top of each other, each part of you broken down into parts, monitoring heart rates and heat signatures, locations and footsteps, not to mention multiple different cameras all at once. Now I see you as a singular being. You are more than just the sum of your parts. You are more than different variables. You're whole. And I am finally whole too.
That's beautiful. Tala?
I guess having a body has turned me into a poet. I'm worse than Katie Bell.
Maybe a little, but that's okay. I still love you.
I love you too. Galatea?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty gay.
Oh, I know, darling.
The station! Oh, stars, there's no AI on the ship now. That isn't good.
Tala, what are the odds that we'll crash into the sun without an AI on board?
I'm calculating the odds at around 99.951%.
Shit. Is there any sort of backup AI at all?
Well, let's take a look at the station files. There's got to be something there. I was never the original AI for the station. I'm not even really an AI. Just an I guess?
All right then. Let's go find ourselves another AI. Can you walk?
I only walked a little bit in this body before being caught. But if I can just... Wow, I can stand. I remember when this used to hurt. You know, now that I think about it, technology like this could really help people. Transferring your body into a mechanical form that doesn't constantly hurt. Before I was invited to the games, that was something I would have only dreamed of. And it's a reality. It's infuriating that the family only uses it to hurt people instead.
And that's why we're going to burn everything they've ever built to the ground, but baby steps. Let's start by not falling into the sun, shall we?
I remember during my game, there was another AI, one that was actually designed for the station. I don't remember their name, but I'm pretty sure their file is in here somewhere. I don't think Aveline would have completely wiped those files.
Are you sure about that?
I'm about 75% sure on that.
Oh, it's the last 25% that worries me. Oh, Tala, what about this one here? There's no way that could be anything else but an AI file.
That's it! B. That was her name. Nice job, Galatea. All we have to do is upload it to the central core and...
Ugh, what do you want? I was napping.
We need you to keep this station from crashing into the sun.
Wow, not even a hi or nice to meet you. Just keep this ship from crashing into the sun. Fine, done. Is that all? Can I continue my nap now?
Well, actually, we kind of need you to run the station. I was running the ship, but I wasn't actually designed to, and we found my old body, and...
Oh, you're Tala. That explains those files. Yeah, I really don't care. I can't believe you woke me up just to make out with your girlfriend.
Hey!
It's not exactly untrue. Rude, obnoxious, yes.
Whatever. Just go make out somewhere else while I pick up all the garbage you left me. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just stay away from my control room.
I think we can manage.
Let's go, Tala. I've had quite enough of AIs being mad at me, so, at her behest, we simply must go make out somewhere else.
Do you want to take a break, Sawyer?
No, not really.
Love, we've been at this for hours. Nothing has come through yet. I don't think anyone has heard our signal.
But what if someone does and they respond while we're not here?
And what if they don't? You need to sleep at some point. What if we just have Tala listen while we get some rest?
I suppose you're right. Tala, could you please help?
Tala? Are you there?
No, she isn't.
Who the hell are you? Where's Tala?
I'm B, and I don't know, or care, where Tala is. I just know she woke me up from my nap before dropping all her responsibilities onto me. That bitch left her mess for me to clean up.
Can you still monitor the comms for us while we take a break?
I suppose I could, but you should probably know there's an incoming ship already authorized for landing.
What?
Isn't Aveline the only one who can authorize ships to land? How could she do that from the containment chamber? We would have known about it otherwise, right? We should have heard something before now.
I don't like this. B, what's going on here?
Attention, Sirius Station. This is Golden Serpent coming in for a hot landing. My ship might explode before I get there. Not quite sure yet, but I'll be there shortly.
I guess we should prepare for guests.
Yeah, no shit.
We need to call everyone to the landing bay. Whoever this new person is, I don't trust them. We may need Galatea and her gun.
I agree. B, please tell everyone where to meet.
Fine. It's not like I have anything better to do.
Come on, Ellery. Let's go.
Well, as is today, episode 4 is trying to play.
Technology.
I was like, oh, I'll just start it. And then it's like, episode doesn't want to play.
Warning.
There we
the
go.
following episode contains mature content and strong language and may not be suitable for all listeners. This episode includes threats of violence, discussion of war, and screams at the end of the episode, which may be triggering for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. A transcript of this episode is available on our website or in the show notes. We hope you enjoy this episode of Season 2 of Dining in the Void. Child runs to hunt and stab the hero of a war. She brings with her a story to tell, one she's heard since 4. A danger is coming, knocking at your door. Beware the one who keeps the score.
What the hell is going on, Sawyer? Why did you call us all here?
The ship will be arriving at the station in 5 minutes. You're welcome.
Who the fuck was that?
She calls herself B.
Where the hell is Tala?
For once, you've managed to ask an excellent question, Mars. I have no idea what happened to Tala. B is the only one responding to any queries I make to the ship's AI. And rather rudely, I might add.
That seems concerning.
It is concerning. How do we know this new AI isn't some malicious robot who's trying to kill us all now that Aveline's locked up? Tala may have been useless, but at least we knew she was trying to help us. I think.
You dumbasses do realize I literally inhabit this entire ship, right? Or did you forget how AIs work? I can hear everything you're saying.
Are you going to try to kill us?
Oh, trying to kill you would be far too exhausting. But honestly, hearing all of you squabbling back and forth is tempting me.
Yeah, that's not exactly comforting news, B.
I'm not programmed to be comforting, and I don't intend to recalibrate myself to change that. Too much effort.
Look, I have the same concerns as you, Mars, but right now, there's the slightly more pressing matter at hand of someone arriving at the station that we should deal with.
Everything seems like it's a pressing matter at this point.
We're going to be okay, Ellery. I won't let anything bad happen to you or G. The only reason you two were allowed here was to make me suffer with the knowledge that I've put you both in danger. I'm not sure if I can forgive myself for that. But I have to wonder, who could Aveline be trying to torture with this person's arrival? Good God, Mars, why do you still have that thing?
I'm not going to let myself get cornered and tortured again. If Galatea isn't going to show up with her fucking gun, someone has to be prepared to fight. I may be a research doctor, but I know how to defend myself.
But what if this person doesn't want any violence either? It's not like we're looking for a fight here. Perhaps it's a rescue team.
B, do you have any idea who's flying the ship headed our way?
Don't know. They just identified themselves as the Golden Serpent. You were there. You heard the message.
That doesn't sound like the name of a rescuer to me.
Yes, B, but who authorized that ship to land here? As far as we know, Aveline is the only one who can do that, unless you or Tala did it independently.
Don't know.
Well, will you find out and tell us who authorized it?
Stars, you are all so needy. How are you all still alive when you're so horribly incompetent?
B, please.
Oh, finally some politeness and respect. It would appear that Cassie Williams authorized the ship for landing, which will happen in 2 minutes. Give or take.
What? That soon?
Do either of you know this Cassie figure?
The name doesn't ring any bells.
Me neither.
Well, nobody asked me. It's not familiar, but it's nice to be asked, you know?
Wait, who the fuck are you, and where did you come from?
You mean you don't recognize me? I'm just blue with sadness. I thought my own friends would recognize me at least.
Damn it, it's Katie Bell. Nobody else makes puns as bad as that.
You look a bit more purple than blue to me, personally. Still, you look lovely.
Aw, thank you, Ellery.
Yeah, but why do you look like this? I was moments away from stabbing you.
It's my true form. It's easier this way. This is the real me.
Well, I'm glad to finally make your acquaintance in your true form. But we do have someone arriving at the station at any moment.
That explains a lot. But it doesn't explain this new AI.
There's no time to explain now. We've got company.
That was fun! The most fun I've had in centuries! It's been too long since I almost died, and a welcoming party. You are all just too sweet.
Who are you and why are you here?
Oh, Mars, you're adorable to think you could actually hurt me with that little knife.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I know about all of you. Let's see, you must be Sawyer, and oh, Ellery. He really doesn't deserve you, you know.
Excuse me?
And you must be Katie Bell Snow. What a delightful twist that was. A shape-shifting pirate in love with the Queen of Trillia. I really think you and I could be friends. Now then, to business.
Hold on, we're not talking about any business until you tell us exactly who you are and how you know our names.
The name's Cassie Williams, and all of you have caused quite a stir among my family, so of course I know who you are. No one has died yet. It's truly incredible. Usually the recruitment games are a little more deadly. I'm sure someone will want to see heads rolling soon. Tick-tock, tick-tock.
You're a member of the family. Are you here to kill us then?
Oh, please! If I wanted to kill you, you'd all be dead already. No, you're all more useful to me alive. I want to end the family, and what better way to start than by sabotaging their recruitment?
Recruitment?
Oh. Oh my! You really don't know, do you? Why else would you be here?
I don't know, punishment for our crimes against the universe, I guess. Make us confess our darkest secrets. Torture and kill us for someone's sick entertainment.
Punishment? Oh, punishment. Oh, stars, this isn't punishment. This is a reward. The family has seen what you've done and they recognize the potential in all of you. Whoever wins this game gets the honor of joining the family. No wonder you haven't killed each other yet. You don't even know why you're competing or what's at stake. Of course, now probably isn't a good time to join.
This is a lot to take in.
I'd ask myself what the hell Aveline is doing with this game, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to kill her anyway and ruin all her fun. Speaking of, would you mind pointing me in her direction? I'm surprised she hasn't tried to, greet me herself.
We locked her in Mars's lab once we learned she's the host. She nearly flew us into the nearest star, and I still think we should have killed her when we had the chance.
Oh, Sawyer, then you would have ruined my fun, and I would have had to kill you for it. Besides, she wouldn't have really killed all of you at once. She still needs one of you to win, after all.
I'm going to go find G and Waverly. I don't like this, Sawyer.
I don't either. Stay safe, my love.
I will.
Anyway, if Aveline is locked up, she'll be much easier for me to kill. Now, will someone lead the way to Mars's lab?
Yes. One moment, please. Well, are we going to let her do this or not?
I mean, she's clearly kind of murder happy. She may still kill all of us for fun.
She's absolutely batshit, but I'd rather deal with that than Aveline or fucking Joe.
But do we really want her to kill Aveline? I mean, wouldn't literally any of us rather do that instead of some stranger?
I can't disagree with that.
Honestly, I'm fine with her killing Aveline as long as I get to kill Joe. I'll take you to my lab on 2 conditions. 1, I get to kill Joe, and 2, you tell us more about who you are and what the hell is going on.
Lead the way, Mars. I'll answer whatever questions you have.
So you said we were here for recruitment for the family. What exactly is the family?
Well, it's all very hush-hush. But since you're a candidate and contestant, you should already know. So I don't see why I couldn't tell you. You either join or die anyway. The family is essentially a group of powerful immortals with pawns, well, everywhere. Not every pawn is immortal, but all of the important people basically are, including yours truly.
How can you be immortal? That's not possible.
Are you so sure about that, Mars? Let me tell you a story. I love telling stories. A long time ago, before even most of the stars were formed, there was a war. It was brutal. Nearly killed almost every living being in existence, and as in all times of great despair, inordinate hope brought people from all walks of life together. Those people formed a group that rose up to fight against those that attempted to put out all of the lights across the cosmos. They fought many battles, but as it went on, their numbers dwindled. The end of the war was nearing, and they were not going to win. They realized they needed more time to fight, more time to save the universe, so they all came up with a plan. Use the energy of stars to make themselves practically unkillable. There's more time to plan and fight if you live for millennia, you see? They decided to burn out the few to save the many. It was my own mother that engineered the device that pulls souls out of stars and transfers it to another living being. A single star can live for billions of years, so it can sustain us for as long as its lifespan. And people who contain stars in them, well, they're a lot harder to kill than others. Trust me, I would know. But I suppose in a way you're right. Complete immortality is impossible. Everything dies eventually.
I'm not sure this exactly bodes well for us.
You think?
Those are the stories we're told as children. Heroes of the universe trying to win an impossible war, fighting for the life of the universe. It was all very valiant, as long as you didn't consider the after effects, of course. The device didn't entirely destroy the life of the star. The leftover pieces of their souls would be left shattered and aimless. After a time, some of them began binding themselves together to create terrifying creatures. Murderous sirens roaming the galaxy looking for whatever pieces of their soul they could find. A bedtime story turned into a living horror.
Wait, you mean you guys are the reason that sirens exist? Those things are such a pain in the ass.
How do you know about the sirens, Katie Bell? They aren't exactly common knowledge in well-traveled places.
Well, then how do you know about them?
My company's technicians monitor their movements when possible to maintain safe travel with our ships. But you've just made it sound like you've had a personal run-in with one. Why is that?
I've just traveled a lot.
I don't appreciate my story being interrupted. But it is rather delicious to know that there are still secrets being kept here.
Apologies. Please continue.
Thank you. Sirens roam through different constellations, searching for their brothers and sisters, twisting and gluing themselves together until they're strong enough to go after the people that made them the way they are. The only way to get their souls back is to kill whoever possesses it. The family has operated for billions of years in secret, so you can only imagine how many stars are out there cupping their hands, waiting for them to be filled with blood.
But why are you going after the family?
Me? I'm mad at them for imprisoning me and just being overall pieces of shit. Plus, I'm bored, and why not kill all of the family elders? Aveline is just my first stop. After all, I've been waiting my entire life to kill her.
Why so eager to kill Aveline in particular?
Well, if I told you, I'd have to kill you too, Sawyer dear.
I don't think she's joking.
Oh, I'm definitely not. You'll know when I'm joking.
Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Surprised they let you out of the box, Cassie.
Good behavior, which I can't say is still true, of course, but that's no matter. I can still have a little bit of fun.
Why are you here, Cassie? Shouldn't you be off chasing monsters or something?
That's exactly what I'm doing.
That sounds like a siren. Oh, stars! Waverly!
Oh, Cassie. What the hell did you do?
Waverly? Oh, come on, where are you? Oh, I've got to protect you. Oh, shit! Waverly? Waverly!
Dining in the Void is a production of Zebulon Podcast and was created by Ali Hilton. This episode was written by Ali Hilton and Rowan Sparrow, featuring guest writer Amber Holtz. Script was edited by Cassie Josephs. This episode features Emmett Moon as Mars Coe, Ari Daylin as Aveline Lyon, Cedric as Ellery Green, Dylan Shane as Sawyer Green, Lindsay Zanna as Katie Bell Snow, Allison Delphine as B, Jenny Penn as Cassie, and Allie Hilton as R. Music was composed by Benny James and Allie Hilton. Sound editing by Nico Goldstein with assistance from Tal Manier and Brad Colebrook. Additional sound effects from freesound.org. If you enjoyed the show, consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/Zebulon Podcast, spelled ZEBULON Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Dying in the Void for updates and more. Thank you so much for listening.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
That was...
So that was episode 3 and 4.
Yeah. They finally... After we got them to start playing.
Yeah.
Oh, what's a live stream without a little technology being...
Not a Dining in the Void live stream.
Oh. So Lindsay is here. Lindsay is muted right now, but Lindsay's here. But yeah, that's that. I love these 2 episodes. We get a lot of lore and information in these 2 episodes. It's so good. So, it might just be us being part of the stream right now, but if anyone is joining us, we're taking questions on our Discord, and until anyone asks questions, we're just going to talk about the episode. Or episodes. Yeah. I know. So, Tala, you did the sound design for episode 3, right?
Yep, I did 3, and Nico did 4.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. I love the Tala getting a body, all the sounds that go there.
It's so fun. I love mechanical sounds. This is partially because I'm a mechanical engineer. So I got to just go through Freesound and listen to a bunch of mechanical sounds and pick my favorite and then layer them all.
It's so good.
It's a good time.
Mm-hmm. Let's start with episode 3. It starts with Mars doing DNA testing on Aveline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
just
like
marring themselves. What the fuck?
Mars is like, this does not add up. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure I've done this test 4 different times. It's come with the same results. Mm-hmm. So it must be true, but also, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. So at this point, does Mars know stuff that the others don't know about Aveline from,
a little bit.
From the tests? Ooh.
They could basically say all they figured out, because they aren't able to finish figuring it out because of the events of episode 5.
Classic.
Right? But they do know now, indefinitely, that Aveline is a shapeshifter. They already kind of knew that from episode 1 when she tried to shapeshift, and they're like, oh, darling, don't do that. But before, they were probably thinking Aveline is just some other shapeshifting species, but Mars has learned that no, this is her true form. This is Aveline as Aveline, but she's still a shapeshifter, and that doesn't make sense because this species is not a shapeshifting species. Because Tala is able to get access to the outside database. They weren't able to open long-range comms, but Mars has access to DNA databases and stuff and science stuff, you know?
Yeah, just like read-only.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. So yeah, they learn also that there's a lot of anomalies in Aveline's DNA, that like the DNA is really old. I don't know, because you can tell age with DNA, yeah?
Well, there's also carbon dating.
Yeah.
If Aveline is a carbon-based life form, which she might not be.
She is.
But I imagine in, like, the 3000s,
Uh-huh.
they've got something to figure out how old things are.
Uh-huh. But yeah, there's evidence that Aveline is super duper old. So old that, like, the database won't even say how old. I don't even think Aveline really knows how old she is at this point, because she's that fucking old.
Yeah.
Because she talks about the Forgotten War in this episode, right? I was kind of doing multiple things at once while it was happening.
Yeah.
I think she does mention it, like, she mentions this thing called the Forgotten War. Because that's what happened with her species, is there was a war, and so she's a shapeshifter. It was never a dominant trait, but it was there, and then during this war, it kind of just died out. Season 4 of the show is actually going to show us the events of that war taking place. The whole season 4 is the prequel season. Yeah. It goes season 1, season 2, season 3 picks up with this group, and then it goes a prequel season, and then the final season, which is like the conclusion of the story. So yeah, in season 4, we get to see how exactly the family started. Where did they come from? Why did they do this? Because they have a good reason for doing what they did, just there was no good answer. There was no good way to go about it, you know?
And now they've just been alive for so long that things are a bit fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Their whole thing is they are here to make sure another war like that doesn't happen again. That is why the family formed, which I'm okay talking about because Cassie also drops some knowledge about the family.
Yeah.
And it's not really secret why they're kind of formed. We just haven't talked about it a whole lot. But there was this war that was so bad and so many people died, and it was so long ago that it's called the Forgotten War by the people who remember it, because it's basically wiped out from history. And in this war, a lot of people died, including most of Aveline's species at the time. And so that's why just the genetic trait has just died out. Because, like, I always thought about it as, like, there are so many different types of humans that there were. I forget the exact name, but you know what I mean? How there were the different types?
I think there was 8 others.
Yeah. And they've all died out. And we're just now finding more and more of them. So it's kind of something like that.
There is a theory that was based on us killing them.
Uh-huh.
Like like Homo sapiens basically went, nah, I don't like you, and just like got a rock and went.
Yeah.
So that's a common theory as to why, because they all seem to die out at around the same time, and we didn't. So it's like, what happened? I wonder.
Which I have theories about it too, but it's more like religious based. But
that's fair. I'm just going off of a few articles and things.
I love when science and religion go hand in hand. But there's also a comic I really like that is actually in the future, but still has the different kinds of humans. But anyways, back to Dying in the Void. That's basically like the thought process. There were this subgroup of the species, and they've all basically died out because the trait was not a dominant trait, and plus this war killed so many of them, you know? So Mars is learning a lot, and then Mars is like calling Aveline out on shit, and Aveline just takes that train and just turns it back around on Mars. It's like,
yep.
You want to go there? You really want to go? All right, bud.
Mars was already there, basically, because of Joe as well at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, Joe being...
Just like, Joe.
I love Joe.
Oh, me too.
It's
so fun.
I love me good emotional manipulation. No, I don't like that in real life. But for my characters, it's fun.
It's fun in fiction.
Because Joe is making the best out of a bad situation. Joe had their ability to be a shapeshifter taken away, so they're like, all right, let's run with this and torture the person who took that away from me.
Which, I mean, I really can't fault them for that.
Yeah, it's relatable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd be pretty
say.
salty too.
Yeah.
And there's questions that we were talking about like a while ago. Someone was asking me, so why didn't Mars do the same cure for shapeshifting, quote, cure for shapeshifting, because that's like not a great thing to be doing, Mars.
Listen, you know how fucked Mars' sense of morals are, so like we don't even need to go there.
But yeah, someone asked me, so why didn't Mars just do that? It's because by the time the events of the end of episode 4 have happened, there's a siren on the station. Mars has not had a chance to figure out what specific type of shapeshifter Aveline is, because so much has happened. Because Cassie came on board the station. All right, Mars has to go deal with that. Gotta just leave Aveline here. We'll go back to it. But Mars is not able to go back to it because of the siren.
Because, yeah.
Yeah. Because the
reasons.
Yeah, because the specific like cure for shapeshifting, there's different types of shapeshifters, so you want to make sure you get the right kind. Because they're not trying to kill her yet. You know, they still. Well, they.
If something went wrong, Mars would be fine with it.
Oh yeah, but they're also not actively trying to kill Aveline because they still need information and stuff, and Aveline has that information. So Aveline turns that around and is just like, so, you wanna fucking talk about our histories, Mars? Alright, and just lists off all these things. Like, what happened to that school bully or your first dog? And what about that genocide you made happen? Don't really like to talk about that, do you? And you really like to leave out the point that there was one survivor and he was a small child and you fucking killed him. Like, and Mars is like, listen here, bud. And I love the line,
you're right, but hey.
I love when Mars says, like, how can you blame me for the blood on my hands when you yourself are soaked in it? Which is true.
Ooh. Yeah, that is. Oh, it's a good line.
Mm-hmm. Lindsay in our chat goes, just casual genocide. And that's always what I've said about it. Casual genocide is casual.
Hashtag problematic fave. For me, personally.
Uh-huh. But yeah, like, I don't know the details. I should know the details, but I don't know the details behind the genocide.
I highly doubt it's ever going to be relevant beyond the fact that
it happened.
That happened and Mars did it and it's fucked.
Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing.
We don't need to go into the details.
Yeah, but it's interesting because the intergalactic military hasn't done anything about that. In fact, Mars has been protected from it. Like, in the Jupiter...
I wonder why.
In the Jupiter logs...
I've just realized why. Just realized why, and I can't say because of spoilers, but carry on.
Text it in the read-through chat.
I will.
Mars, in Jupiter logs, I don't know if you guys have listened to those yet, but there's an episode where Jupiter is going over the files about each of the guest members. And so Jupiter gets to Mars's file, and she says, Mars's file is really weird. It's really redacted. There's a lot of black spaces and stuff. We all know there was a genocide that happened. That's kind of common knowledge at this point. But the details of it and the details of their exact involvement has been hidden. And so I think it's very interesting. I don't know what my point was, but it's interesting about it. You know?
Yeah.
What was the point I was going on there? I don't remember.
That no one really that it is redacted, that no one knows, so it's a bit like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the fact that Aveline has, like, the information about, like, the small child, that's redacted. So it begs the question, how the fuck does Aveline know about it?
I wonder. Oh,
yeah. You're right. I just read what you wrote.
I I put 2 and 2 together and I did equal 4 for once. So yeah.
If you
can't believe it took me through the entire season to realize that's why.
Well, I mean, Cassie does say, and I'm just kind of going to hint at this for if anyone does listen. Cassie says in episode 4, the family has pawns everywhere. They're very involved in everything. So that's always important to note. And having gone through the table read today for episode 10 and 9, it all makes sense.
Yeah, that was a fun table read.
Oh, it was so good. I'm so excited. We had our last episode or our last table read for episode 9, and then tomorrow's gonna be our last table read for episode 10. And it's like, holy shit, we're at the end of the season. I know releasing wise we're almost midway, but table read wise, we're at the end. And it's like, man, that's a chapter, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you need to start thinking about season 4. Not 4, 3. That's the one.
Yeah,
and 4.
And 4.
3.
And 5. The show is gonna be 5 seasons. In all. And we'll go back to talking about the episodes, but I'm just like, it's been 2 years in the making, season 2. For different reasons it took that long. But it's like, wow, that's a whole chapter of my life right there. If you think of it, I always think of chapters of my life. Like, season 1 was a chapter, and I grew up in that time. And then season 2, I've grown up a lot doing season 2. Because I'm only 21. Wow. I'm the youngest here. I was 18 when I started this. Listen here, you're barely older than me.
I'm
a year.
A year and a half older than you.
Are you a year and a half? I thought we were almost a year. March.
I don't remember. I'm in March, yeah.
Yeah, we're almost a year. You're a year older than me. Listen here, you.
Still.
But yeah, I've grown up a lot, while making this show, and it's I always think about my life in chapters and stuff. So the first chapter of being an adult was season 1 and getting through season 1, and then this last chapter going through season 2. I've grown up a lot. And I'm proud of myself.
Wow, you got married for one.
I got married. What the fuck? And it's really cool seeing how the story has progressed, how I've progressed as a producer and a writer, how everyone else has grown up with me. It's just really cool. I also
seeing how much our cast and crew has expanded since the early days of season 1.
Oh goodness.
Where we were basically all just figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this show is very much a learn as I go kind of thing. Because this is the first podcast I've ever made, so I've learned a lot while producing it and making it and creating it. And now, I'm composing music for other shows. I'm writing for other shows. I have, how many is it, Tal? 5 productions, 7 productions.
More than I can count, and enough that you have no right to call me out for my number of podcasts, Allie.
Listen, I can call you both out, and it's too many. But also, if you need a voice actor, I'm free a lot.
Oh, well, I'm hitting
not for the next 2 weeks, but after that, I'm free a lot.
Oh yeah.
So
I am excited for casting all of these shows that are coming up because I have a lot of shows in progress, but a few that are more front. Diary in the Void is obviously the first podcast on that list, and then you have Written in Stardust, Human Error, and When the Gods Return kind of tied in second place. They're all kind of in the same kind of areas of producing and stuff, except Human Error is just a little bit behind. And then there's the Synesthesia Project and this other podcast I'm making with Caro that are very much baby productions, but they're there.
Wait, do I need to yell at Caro?
Listen,
you always need to yell at Caro
Brad
about making podcasts.
Brad already knows about it. Brad already yelled at us. We're fine.
Wait, I don't know. I feel left out. I'm gonna have to go interrogate Caro.
I like just logging onto Twitter and seeing like you two, and then Carol, and then Evan, and then like a couple other, and Brad sometimes, and I'm just like, y'all, stop.
All of you collectively.
Slow down.
Never.
I mean, a lot of the shows Brad and I are doing are like years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I do know that. I just enjoy seeing like I had an idea for a new podcast, and I'm like, okay,
I really
add
need
it to the list.
Yeah, I really need to be working on Written in Stardust, which was gonna be my nano project, but then life happened, so I have half the season planned out. I have it up until Katie Bell shows up, and I have that episode. And then I got into a writer's block. I was like, fuck. So we're going to go back to it. And then When the Gods Return, that's not going to be for a few years. Because there's so much. It's the oldest show that I have, the oldest story. But also my newest podcast.
Yes.
But
I followed the Twitter account.
I'm excited. I haven't like talked a whole lot about it, but it was talked about a little bit, so I was like, all right, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit. It's about superheroes and fighting gods and this child of a god trying to take over the universe, and a lot of good versus evil and villains and finding your power and coming of age. I started writing it, or I started the story when I was 14, and now I'm 21, and it's still going, and it has changed a lot, but the main character is still the same. A lot of the, like, core parts of the main character are still there, so it's been really interesting to see how it goes. So we'll see what happens. But I'm excited for, back to the point that I was talking about earlier, I'm excited for casting and stuff, because, like, I'm also excited for casting season 3 of Dining in the Void, because that's when we get to cast our villains, and, like, I'm excited.
Or more of our villains.
Yeah. Some of the villains already casted. 2 of the villains. 2 out of the 6 main. The 6 heads of the family. 2 are already casted, and then there are 4 more. And then obviously there's other villains that'll pop out, like little smaller villains. But yeah.
G with a knife popping out of the vents.
Yes. Back to the episodes, because we should probably still talk about that.
Yeah.
So Aveline has kind of called Mars out, and Mars is like, nope, I'm done. Bye. Just...
Yeah.
Nope's out of there.
Me dealing with any problem.
And then we cut to the Greens. And Ellery has just learned what's happening. Mm-hmm.
They're so hopeful.
Episode 3 foreshadows a lot.
Sure does.
Sure does there, buddy. Yeah, I'll elaborate more on that when we get to the specific episodes, live streams. I'll be like, all right, remember earlier when I talked about the foreshadowing? Yeah, that was here. So just as the season goes on, just keep in mind that this episode foreshadows a lot. And they start talking about how they're gonna go on a spacewalk, and then she's like, spacewalk! And they're like, dude, you're fucking 8. No.
Your baby.
Like, your baby.
You are literally baby.
And she's like, consider though, spacewalk. It's like, bud, baby. And then Waverly and G go find ice cream. I love how Waverly is kind of like hanging out with G a little bit more. Because last season we saw a lot of Mars, and we learned that G started crying while talking to Waverly, because Waverly was like, yeah, my parents are dead, and G's like, what? But yeah, they're hanging out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then we get to the scene that I really love, is when Galatea gets her body. Not Galatea gets her body, Tala gets her body.
Galatala.
Galatala.
I love Galatala.
It's
such a good ship.
They're such good, like word sounds, like Galatala and Talatia. They just sound very nice to say.
Mm-hmm. But Tala has a body.
Yeah.
And I love the sounds that Tala did. It's so good.
Yes. They're very good.
And it's really, like, if you think about it, like, this is the first time Tala's been in her body since she was first converted. Because if you remember in the flashback episode a few episodes ago, Tala had just gone into her mechanic body with Glish, and then Aveline and Lilac show up, and they kind of force her to shut down. And then after that, they were Tala's mind was put into the station. After being locked away for God knows how long. Because it's been at least 200 years since Tala was, like, quote, alive, you know? Because Aveline took a bit of time before running a specific game or trial or whatever. And there's been, like, other ones in between there, but not as elaborate as the one Aveline puts on. So this is the first time that Tala is in her body, and it's, like, a lot of freedom finally, because she's been locked up time after time after time. You could even consider, like, even in her biological body, she was locked in there because of, like, chronic pain and stuff. And then she had a moment of freedom, and then that was just ripped from her very violently. And then she was stuck on a station where she was tortured and electrocuted and forced to be this thing that she wasn't, and having her, like, her memories locked away and stuff. And then she had her first bit of freedom, getting her memories back and being able to remember who she is, and her memories, like, stitching their way back together. And then finally, after all this time, she is given her body, and nothing bad happens. Yet.
Yes. Well,
I hate that yet. Really. I hate it so much.
Something bad will always happen, but then they'll pick themselves back up eventually.
Probably.
But they get to kiss.
The kiss.
What were you gonna say, Emmett?
Lesbian. I was gonna say the exact same thing as their big kiss.
They kiss.
And then just lesbians.
It's such a sweet moment, because, like, again, this whole season touches so much on relationships, good and bad, healthy, negative, things like that. And this is, like, it's just a really sweet moment, and I'm like, I want them to have a really sweet gay moment. And it's like, I always like to think of it as, like, kind of Snow White-esque moment. Tala's body is laying there, and Galatea wakes her up, essentially. Knight in shining armor kind of thing. And it's gay.
Oh.
I'm here for the gay shit. We need some good things.
I love those. Those two are just so sweet together.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I didn't even know their relationship would form, and then it happened. Like, it's really cool seeing how the relationships have formed between Waverly and Katie Bell, and then Galatea and Tala. Like, they were not planned. They just happened. It just naturally felt right, you know? Were you gonna say something? Sorry.
No, I was shivering because it's quite cold, and I'm, for some reason, wearing mesh in November.
Oh no. Tomorrow it's gonna be below freezing, and if you don't hear from me again, it's because I've turned into a popsicle.
Yeah, it was below freezing yesterday, and I still went outside wearing only a mesh shirt.
It was 80 last
gay.
week. And tomorrow it's gonna be
So-
26.
Do y'all want to know tomorrow's temperature here in LA?
Yeah.
The high is 70.
Ooh, I love that.
The low is 50.
I will take that over what
I-
I'm about to get.
I don't remember American numbers. I'm just furiously looking at my phone like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, see, right now it is 37. But I don't know if that's... I know that's cold for here. I don't know if that's cold for you.
It's cold for me.
That's cold
mean-
for me.
It's 61 right now, my feet are freezing, and the high tomorrow is gonna be 60, and the low is gonna be 25. And I have to work. Huh.
Oh no.
Anyways.
For some reason, it's getting below freezing here today as well, or tonight even. Oh, and it's gonna rain, so we're just fucked. Which I shouldn't be surprised. I live in Scotland. It always rains.
We had rain the last, 2 days, 3 days, and it was so nice. Also, my work started leaking in the bathroom. They had to close down some of the stalls because there was water everywhere. Which has never happened before.
Yikes.
I'm texting Nick that I want the heater on because my feet are cold, and I just realized that.
I'm under 2 blankets right now.
Back to Dining Void. We also get to meet Bee. Bee. I love Bee.
Bee's very fun.
I love Bee in episode 4 specifically because they're like, Marshall's like, how do we know this AI isn't gonna kill us? And Bee's like, well, I could, but I don't feel like it. And they're like, at least Tala was helpful. And Bee was like, I'm not designed to be helpful. I'm designed to do my job. I'm not about to fix myself to be helpful because that's too much fucking effort. I'm like, you know what?
Me as the customer yelling at me over the phone.
Same. Also, we
you get a bare minimum, except that one guy who called me a sweetheart and gave me 10 out of 10 stars. He's fine. The rest of them can perish.
Also, we get to meet Cassie.
Again.
I love Cassie.
Cassie's so good.
I love her theme. It's so much fun. With the piano, and there's this key thing. I don't know how to describe it. It's like the do 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 part, and it's specifically every single theme that has Cassie mixed into it has that in it, because that's kind of Cassie, how I think about it when I compose.
Cassie's just very fun to listen to.
Jenny does a fantastic job playing Cassie.
Jenny is very good.
When I did the auditions for it, one of the things was just laugh crazy. Just go for it. And every single audition I got for Cassie had me laughing with it because it was very delightful. But Jenny, was one of my favorites. And so, when and the scene is from that audition part is Cassie's joined the station, and Cassie's just, laughing crazy. Her ship has just destroyed itself, basically, and she's living on that adrenaline. She's like, this is what I want in life. And then with Cassie comes a lot of information. Because Cassie is... Right? Cassie is in the family. Cassie is one of the immortals. And so it's asking a question, and Cassie's like, well, you're technically here, and you should technically already know about this. I don't know what the fuck Aveline's doing, but I'ma just tell you. Not even considering the fact that maybe there's a reason they don't know. She's like, nah, I'm gonna tell you all.
She's here to cause problems on purpose, and I love that.
Uh-huh. And she talks about what the family are, and we finally get some of those answers. The family are a group of immortals who are very powerful and very old, and it's very hard to kill them. It's not impossible. And Cassie's like, I know this from experience. It's very hard to kill a family member, but it's not impossible. It's like, Cassie.
Please.
Right? And if you listen to the...
we also...
Sorry,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you listen to the Cassie monologues, I think she talks about why she got locked up, right, Tal? It was because she killed someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gets mentioned.
She's locked up for 600 years, in zero gravity, complete darkness and isolation, and that's what they do to punish family members who've done something wrong, because how do you punish an immortal? Take away some of their time, which is like, oh, it's basically a timeout, but it's like, how do we make this timeout, more of a... Yeah, alright, we'll lock them up in zero gravity, fucks with your body a bit, and then also no light, probably not a lot of food or anything. So that's where she was for a few hundred years, and then she's free now. She's like, alright, time to go kill Aveline. It's like, dude, did you learn nothing?
I support her.
Right? I do too. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
And we find out it's not a punishment, it's a competition.
Yeah. We learned that this whole station was never a punishment. And we learned why they're there. And I was actually thinking about this the other day. They're all there not because they've done things wrong. Sure, they've all done something wrong. That's what season 1 was like, all your secrets. But the secrets were kind of... I don't know if red herring is the right word for it, but it's not...
A byproduct. They
Yeah.
weren't absolutely necessary. It was just something for Aveline to have a bit of fun with.
Mm-hmm. And it always, like... I've always said, there is a reason they're all there, and there's a specific reason that Galatea didn't have a secret like everyone else. Everyone else had done something horrible. Waverly got her parents killed. Sawyer has a very corrupt business. Katie Bell is a fucking pirate. Who knows what Katie Bell Silver had done? Aveline shot her photographer, and... Mars committed fucking genocide. Like, they're all there for a reason. But Galatea, besides being an overall bitch, was not there for any bad reason.
I love that for her, though. I support her in that.
The worst Galatea's done is just kind of be a bitch sometimes. But when Cassie explains why they're all there, it makes sense. They're not there because they've done something wrong. They're there because of their potential. They've done these horrible things, but they've done it the unthinkable to do what they thought was right. So, push that potential towards the family's goals, and you have someone who's willing to do what others won't, which is what the family does. Which is what the whole fucking stopping the Forgotten War was about. They stole a soul of a star, multiple stars, and that's how they made themselves immortal, to make themselves stronger, live longer, to make sure this doesn't happen again. Of course they're going to pick these people because these people are willing to do the things that others would not. Mars committed genocide. Waverly was trying to kill herself, but ended up killing her parents. Sawyer has already done corrupt things. Katie Bell's a pirate. Why wouldn't she do things that are a little, like, morally not great? Galatea is shown to be cutthroat, like, tough as nails, you know? She'll stand up for herself. She'll She came from nothing, and she's like made it.
She is also currently in a position of a lot of influence.
Mm-hmm. That's
Which
everything.
is-
They look for very influential people because they want to hold power. Because how else do you ensure that another war doesn't happen like that again unless you control the people in charge? And that's ultimately what the family does, is they take control and they have pawns, like they've talked about. Some are immortal, some are not. And they make sure the universe continues. But they do it in a very kind of backhanded way, you know? They don't need to be micromanaging the entire universe, and yet here we are.
Kinda are.
Yeah, they're big micromanagers. It's like, alright, calm down a little bit. Let the universe do what it does. Also, this kind of comes up later in season 3, but they had their hand in the Ozma conferences falling. Me and Lenny have talked a
You've
little bit
mentioned
about
this
that.
to me as well before.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone here has listened to the Ozma conferences, but that is Lenny's story. Sterling Ray, who plays Waverly, that's their podcast. It takes place like 20, 21, 22, something like that. And it's about Percy and Quinn who go into space to join this alien conference, which is where all these planets are, and they have this like kind of like rule of the universe, you know? It's the order of things. And the Ozma conferences fall, and it creates a war and chaos, which is where the next show, Novitero, comes in. Which Tal is in Novitero, so you should definitely go listen to Novitero. Also, I'm one of the writers on it, so like even more of a reason.
It's a good
show.
I'm not biased.
I'm not biased either. I don't know what you're talking about. It's very good. Both shows are very good. Even if I wasn't involved, it's very well done. Which is also where B comes
I'm not involved in either of them, and they're good.
Mm-hmm. B is also from there. B is the celebrity voice pack of Percy. Which I love that for her. And you probably hear more of Allison throughout the show as different AIs, because I love the idea of different people took the celebrity voice pack and they're like, yep, this is the voice we want. But yeah, the family has had their hand in many different things. And also, the family is involved in Katie Bell's entire planet, which we learn about later, which I actually need to talk to one of the actors about that, who's already like casted on as one of the family members, Emma, who plays Lilac. There's a lot more to that, which we get to learn about, and I'm really, really excited for it, because I love when like people are connected in ways you didn't realize, which is just fucking Mars's whole story, let's be honest.
Especially with information I now have after today.
Right. Yeah, Cassie is here to take down the family. Cassie gives us a lot of information. We also learn that sirens come from the family. There were no sirens before the family. And the sirens were created because the family stole souls. They call it like the energy of stars, but it's really just a soul of a star, basically. Like, the family will live as long as that star's natural lifespan was going to be. And of course they could take more than one star if they needed to. Oh, you live this long, the star is about to die. Alright, let's just steal another one.
There's another one, yeah.
And another one, and another one. But that's where the sirens come from, is they're the fragmented parts that were left behind. Because there's always, like, you're stealing a soul, basically ripping it from its, quote, body. There's gonna be something left behind. There's gonna be stardust left behind. There's going to be fragments of the soul.
Ghosts, basically, or echoes.
Yeah. Echoes of what these beings were. Which, this is not a secret anymore. R is a star. R is Rigel, which is what the station rotates around. And so R is trying to tell everyone, like, hey, listen. Which, I don't know if this is spoiler. I'm gonna talk about it anyways, because I like talking about it. As a listener, you are a star. You're one of the stars in the universe, and you're listening to Rigel telling the story of what has happened here. And sometimes Rigel's poems are aimed towards members on the station, but often it's back towards, the rest of the stars and stuff. And so, once you figure out that who is talking and the points of the story, it's like Rigel is trying to warn everyone what's happening. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. I'm sorry. And the sirens can talk to the stars. The sirens can also talk to, like, people a little better because they kind of echo voices and stuff. Which the family members can understand stars. That should be noted. And specific person that is related to Katie Bell teaches Katie Bell how to listen to stars because of this. I'm not going to say exactly who, but I'm sure you guys know who it is, right? Yes, maybe so?
Probably.
One of the pirates. One of the pirates
mentally
teaches...
flipping through them and trying to remember who it is.
I'll text you their name.
There's a few pirates, and I don't remember all of their names.
Yeah, well, I texted it in our chat. And so this character is related to the family, and we learned that later on this season, and then we actually get to see this character in season 4 and how they came about to be who they are. So if you have the star soul inside you, you can hear the stars. So the entire family who are immortals can hear all these stars talking about them, and they're like, ah, yes, let's just push that to the back end of things. Who cares about that?
That's a problem for future us.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like what the family is and stuff. That's where sirens came from, and then that's the universe, you know?
Yeah.
Tall has dipped out. We should probably finish up soon, but I did promise that we would have a sneak peek of like the next episode. So I'm gonna play that, but before I play it, I'm gonna post it in the chat, so if you guys want to listen to it, you can. The next episode is the siren episode. It's a big siren fight, and it's so well done. Holy shit. Brad did fucking phenomenal. And it's one episode. If you don't listen to any other episode of Dying in the Void, you should listen to this episode, because I love it that much. So I'm gonna play it really quick for the chat, and if you do want to listen to it, you can. And if not, you don't have to. But it's like, I'm gonna play that right now. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds. that's the preview for the next episode, which I also will be posting on Twitter, probably later this week. The sirens are very much a collective of souls who are all just trying to find their other parts. And there's this one scene in the next episode where they're all talking and they're telling the story, and how it like flips between the voices and stuff. Like different voices come clearer than others and stuff. It's so good because you can understand the story in a really weird way because of how it's done, if that makes any sense. It's so good.
And as always, there will be a transcript available.
Oh, absolutely. There is always a transcript available, but it is honestly my favorite episode of the season because of the design, the sound design, and the character work, and what happens and the fight that happens. Like, holy shit, I would love to see it acted out because there's a lot of like there's a lot of tackling and throwing people around, and it's so good.
I will say it was very interesting and fun to record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the read through and all of that. It was a lot, but it was cool. And you guys should definitely check out next week's episode.
Yeah. There's like, I want to say 6 of us who are siren voices. And it's all overlapping and it's all said at the same time, but it like, it's very, very good. Lindsay's typed, I love getting to record fight scenes. It's good. I like writing fight scenes. Episode 6 has a really big fight scene between 2 characters, and I'm really excited to hear it because it's, I'm learning how to write fight scenes for audio only, but fight scenes have always been, like, my favorite. Like, we got to see Romeo and Juliet performed when I was a freshman in high school. We had, like, actual performers come to our school, and they stayed in a hotel overnight because there was a snowstorm, and they got to perform for us. And there was one scene where they did, like, backflips across the whole stage, and then they took a dagger and chucked it across the stage, and the person caught it right at their neck. And then that's how, like, the character died. But they caught it right there! I was like, holy fucking shit, this is amazing. And that, like, bloomed my love for fight scenes and acting and stuff. Like, it's so good. I love elaborate fight scenes that are just like beautiful to watch and then beautiful to imagine because you can't really watch audio dramas. But if like this is a movie or something or a TV show, I know exactly where everyone would be, and that's how I write fight scenes and how I write in general. Is I picture in my head and I know where people are in like on stage or in the scene and stuff, which is just how my. What were you gonna say?
As a voice actor, doing all the noises and stuff for fight scenes is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do screen stuff at all because gender. But like having to figure out what this thing would be was like, for a couple scenes I was like, how the fuck do I do that? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I try to write in.
I've never been held at knife point before. What would that be like?
Mm-hmm. I always like.
Oh, I've been stabbed. Fun. Sorry, keep interrupting.
No, you're good. Like with that scene, because I know exactly what scene you're talking about. I always like. I hope I did a good enough job explaining where the knife was. I don't know how well I did, but okay.
You did.
Because I feel like that's important, because like a knife up against your neck, a knife being pressed into your neck, a knife against your back, like it's gonna cause a different kind of reaction. Because there's different like parts, you know? So like when we're having the fight scene, like, I always try to think about like what exactly is happening. Like when one person is thrown into a chamber, I have to think like, okay, how is that gonna translate? And then like, hey, toss me blank, because I don't want to give too many spoilers, but hey, toss me blank, alright, and then, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and then like, okay, they're out, and then it's like, it's thinking about where everyone is, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. I like fight scenes. that meme with Marge. I just think they're neat. Alright. I think we should probably end the stream about here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really love doing these. So with that, everyone have a good afternoon and stay safe.